What's going on, everyone? I am just a typical, average American here today to react to 11 things that Americans need to know before moving to Canada. So, here in the United States, when times get hard, and things start getting a bit too crazy, a lot of Americans start talking about, honestly, moving to Canada, to the promised land, to escape the madness. So today, I thought it'd be very interesting to learn about this list here of 11 things that, apparently us Americans don't realize are very different in Canada. So let's take a look.
I've had a lot of Americans in my comments asking if they can come live here in Canada. And look, we get it. You've had a rough time. But before you pack up the U-Haul and head north, there are 11 things that you are going to have to learn.
This is actually like I know part of this is supposed to be like entertaining or funny or but seriously, I actually think genuinely that there's probably a lot of Americans who think they could just pack up and move to Canada and don't really need to understand the culture or what life is like in Canada or how to acclimate to Canadian culture or at least respect it or at least learn about it if that's where you're moving to. So anyway, like for Americans who are actually moving to Canada, and I think that's like a very high number right now in particular. Um, this is actually pretty important.
Number one, the metric system. I'm sorry, but we are right on this one.
Ah! Oh my, that disqualifies like 97% of us right off the bat. The metric system. And I agree, like, I think anybody who's purely objective and rational should agree, like, the metric system is strictly better. It's more logical. Here in the US, whenever you take a science class in like high school, that was the first time, yeah, high school. That was the first time I remember ever learning seriously about the metric system, like about like what a centimeter exactly is, or a gram, a kilogram, and a kilometer, or a meter, and how it's all multiples of 10. And the temperature, like Celsius, like 0 is when water is freezing, and like 1 milliliter is like a gram squared of water or something. I actually remember a bit of this. So maybe I'd do okay. Um, so it's kind of mind blowing for a lot of us here in the US when we learn about that. Like, it takes until we're like teenagers, like 16, where we're like, oh my God, this is like a measurement system for science. And it's like, no, actually, then later in life, you learn it's really a measurement system that most of the world uses. It's not just for science class, even. Like, it's just a general, it's a good general logical measurement system. So anyway, not to go on too much of a rant about that, but I do agree it makes more sense. We learn a little bit about it, and then we kind of go back to our daily life, especially after high school. We're like, okay, back to my inches and my miles and my pounds and my Fahrenheit, my happy place, my Fahrenheit. Ah. So this would be difficult to make the transition because Canada uses a lot of metric, right?
In fact, you are only one of 3 countries in the world that has not officially adopted metric yet, and the other
Is it that? Oh my God. Three in the world? Think about that. I mean, we like to be special. We like to be unique in the US. We're hellbent on that. This is not in a good way, though.
2 are Liberia and Myanmar. The
Oh,
metric just makes sense. 0 is freezing, 100 is boiling, clean, simple.
it's literally like I don't. There's a lot of Americans like myself who I do not even defend our measurement system. It's purely like we don't switch because we're lazy. It's convenient to use yards and stuff that we've been using our whole life. It'd be hard to switch. So we don't. That's literally the only reason. Like
Fahrenheit was obviously invented by some drunk guy in Minnesota who thought 32 was nippy. Which brings me to number 2, how to drive.
That's good. That's good. That's some Fahrenheit humor. Okay. No metric. That yeah, because especially if you're moving to Canada and you'd plan on like driving, isn't the speed limit in like kilometers per hour? Like it'd actually be dangerous to not have a grasp of what that means. Or I guess you could just like try to line up the number on your dashboard with the signs and like never really understand how fast you're going. But yeah, that's important to know the measurement system. Yeah, genuinely.
Number 2, how to drive in winter. Black ice, by the way, is not a cocktail. It is the reason your pickup is in the ditch. Every
Oh, this would wow. These are good. This is also a major problem for so many Americans. Like here, like this year or last year, winter was like it snowed for 1 week and we went crazy. People were like buying up all of the grocery store food and and like all the toilet paper again and all this like preparing for the apocalypse, and it snowed for like a week and then it was done. Then it was like that was it for the year. So we can't even like handle that. And believe me when I say that was enough to like shut down school, and you could even like call into work for a lot of people who couldn't like didn't feel confident enough to drive out of their neighborhood. um so this is actually pretty crucial because like from what I understand in Canada, if it snows you're still expected to do things and function in society. You don't get like we all get a pass here in the US because it doesn't happen much, so we don't really prepare for it or understand it, and we just kind of like hunker down and hibernate until it's over. But in Canada, the winter is longer, more intense usually, right? And so you can't just ignore it. You have to like go about your life. So specifically learning to drive, that's like the crux of the whole thing. Being able to drive your car. That terrifies most Americans, the idea of driving in the snow.
Canadian has a story about black ice, and none of them end with, and then I got to work on time.
Black ice. Like dirty ice? What?
If you think you can handle Canadian winters because you once drove through a snowstorm in Ohio, no, you can't, and shut up. Number 3, here is how healthcare works in Canada.
Oh, Canadian health. Okay. This is like a reason why a lot of Americans would love to move to Canada, not just to escape the madness of the United States, but for something you hear over and over and over again is the free Canadian healthcare.
You walk in, you get treated, you walk out. Nobody swipes your credit card. You don't have to Venmo the nurse. We don't even have.
This it's funny like hearing a Canadian. It's so obvious that he's Canadian because it's like when you're at the hospital, you very rarely actually get your credit card out. You almost never get your credit card out at the hospital and swipe it. Like that's not how it works. You typically have to wait for your health insurance to like assess the charges and then how much coverage it's going to give you, and then you can see a bill online these days on a dashboard with the hospital, or most of us wait for the classic bill in the mail, which you can then pay online or with your phone or mail or something. But you don't. Is that what you visualize us doing here? Like McDonald's, like pulling up to the drive-through hospital, like swiping our card. That almost never happens.
Venmo up here. What you do get is a plastic chair in a waiting room that smells of antiseptic and despair, and you will sit in it until your name is called. And while you wait, you will start looking around and diagnosing other people in the room. That guy's a goner.
What?
Number 4.
Huh? So he's talking about, well, he is affirming that in Canada you don't need to worry about pay because that's covered, right? But with your taxes. So it's not like totally free, but it's awesome. Like when I tell you, I don't even know what my taxpayer money is building. I do not know. Like Trump's new ballroom or something, honestly, or like going to the military budget, or I don't know. I like to think it fixes like the potholes in the street sometimes, but or building a new Walmart, but if I knew that my tax money was going towards it covering my health care, oh, I would love it. That would be amazing for so many Americans. That would be such a relief to know, okay, just existing, paying my taxes, I don't have to worry about the healthcare. That would be amazing. So, yeah, that's really cool.
Hockey. Here, kids start playing hockey early, and by
What is it? Oh, we're on to the next. Hockey. This is like a stereotype about Canada. You guys have a couple stereotypes in the United States, and this is a big one that you guys play hockey and like hockey. And if it's on this video about things Americans need to know about Canada before moving there, I think this is just true. It's not really a stereotype, or it's one of those that are kind of based in facts. Like, you guys love hockey, it seems.
I play hockey, I mean their parents mortgaged the house to pay for equipment, ice time, and hotel rooms in Moose Jaw. Now look, you do not have to love the sport, but you'd better know what city team is closest to you, because if you don't, you're not quirky.
This would be a battle for a lot of Americans. I feel like if you don't grow up watching hockey, like, you have to develop an interest. Like, I don't know what I'm trying to say. Like, I didn't like play. I never liked watching tennis on TV or golf until I played it. Then it's interesting because you can like compare yourself and understand how difficult it is. So I can't watch hockey on TV. Like, it's not on for one thing, but if it was, like, because I think you have to have some kind of exposure to it in real life or play it to really become a fan and watch it. And so for a lot of Americans, this would be hard to appreciate hockey, and let alone how much investment you do with your kids or hockey equipment, or so you just have to know like your local team. That's fair. That's like in the US knowing your local basketball team or football team. That's fair.
You're a national security threat. Number 5, Tim Hortons. Look, Tim Hortons is not just bad, it is aggressively bad.
It's bad? I thought Tim Hortons was like a Canadian institution, like a way of life. What do you mean it's bad? I thought, how is it so popular? Isn't it like literally the most popular coffee chain in Canada? What do you mean it's bad? How do they get away with it?
The coffee is basically warm water that might have sat near a bean at some time. The sandwiches taste like drywall, but somehow with less texture.
So, oh my God. I guess that'll wake you up. Not in the way you want, but this is kind of like a weird one because I think most Americans would go into Canada thinking, Tim Hortons. Like any Canadian. I love it. If we're trying to like fit in, we'd be like, my fellow Canadians, are you getting the double-double today? Very good. And the real Canadian viewpoint seems to be like kind of crapping on Tim Hortons and being like, nah, it's not that great. Is that the reality?
But this is still Canada. We line up for it every morning, not because we like it, but because we've accepted that the meaning of life is suffering.
What? I'm so confused. Maybe. What? In the US, I don't know if you guys have this, but There's little coffee places everywhere and a lot of drive-through like coffee places all over the place, independent. And then you got like Starbucks, of course, McDonald's and places. There's a lot of options, so you can kind of find the coffee you want, even the gas station. Um, it feels like in Canada, you're just like beholden to the Tim Hortons. You're Tim Horton overlords, and you don't like it.
Number 6, place names. The big city in Ontario is pronounced Toronto. Nobody says the second T except
What? Trana? What are we talking about? You have to know how to pronounce places in Canada if you're going to live in Canada. That makes sense. Like, that's honestly a part of like living there and like uh, like in Indiana, you know somebody is not from here if they refer to Louisville. Um, Louisville, Kentucky, that is, which is like to the south anyway. So, so you know if someone's not from like Kentucky or Indiana or somewhere close by if they call it Louisville, the city. If they call it Louisville, you know they're from around. So it's very true that those subtle little things let you know if somebody is like local or not. Or
Americans. Newfoundland is New Fun Land, and if you don't clap it out, they'll know you're from away, and they will charge you extra for the beer. And yes,
Newfoundland, not Newfoundland. Newfoundland. You gotta get your mouth muscles moving.
the capital of Saskatchewan rhymes with exactly what you think it does. Number 7, politics. If you are moving here from the US, prepare yourself. There's no us versus them two-party system. There's us, them, those guys, the other guys, and Quebec doing something entirely on its own.
Sounds amazing. Most Americans don't know this. I've done at least one video trying to understand the Canadian political parties, your election systems, and I don't understand all of it, but when I tell you how refreshing it sounds that you have more than two choices, and that those two choices don't hate each other's guts and want to kill each other. I'm sure you have disagreements, and I know you guys have liberals and conservatives as well, but you have some other options, and that alone is amazing to me. And a lot of Americans don't even realize you can have more than a two-party system, and that I think is great. So that's really cool.
5 political, or maybe 7 actually? I've lost count. Think of elections less like an election and more like speed dating, except everyone shows up late, insults you to your face, and then somehow you still end up paying for the meal.
Oh God. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's cool because like political philosophy is a little more nuanced, like than dividing it into two ideas. It turns out. So
And their salary. Number 8, apologizing. Look, in Canada, sorry. Sorry is not guilt. It is conversational rhythm. It's not an admission. It's a comma. Someone bumped.
this would be incredibly difficult, even for me. I consider myself pretty reasonable, pretty polite in normal day-to-day activities. I don't, I want to be polite to people and get along, and I'm not even going around saying sorry or sorry. So in Canada, you go, "Oh, sorry," right? Like that's pretty good. Um, no American is, and it's not expected, and it actually feels weird, and it almost feels like too much. Or we come up with so many ways to not say sorry. We say like, "Oh, if you bump into someone, it's like, oh, excuse me, my bad. Oh, no problem. You're good. All good. Anything but sorry." I don't know what. Maybe it's some kind of psychosis we have. I'm not. Maybe we're weird for that, but this would be difficult for Americans to like feel truly comfortable saying sorry so much.
Someone bumps into you, you say sorry. You bump into them, you say sorry. We say it so often. There are actually laws here that says saying sorry doesn't legally count as an admission of fault. That's true.
I think we also have an ego. Saying sorry admits you have done something not perfect, perhaps even wrong, and you're admitting it. We're not good at that. We don't like that.
Number 9, the cold. And don't tell us that you get winter too.
The cold. So the winter driving was a big one. So if you're going to move to Canada, obviously you have to accept that it will be cold. Every American knows Canada is cold. If anything, we go over the top. Like as a kid, I remember thinking Canada was cold all year round and that you live in igloos. Seriously, that's what we think. So no American should be surprised at the cold. That'd be pretty embarrassing.
No, you don't. You get 2 inches of snow in Virginia, and suddenly Anderson Cooper's outside wearing a parka the size of a camping tent and yelling like he's reporting from a war zone.
If you look at the graph, whoa!
Grocery stores sell out of milk, governors declare states of emergencies, and somewhere a man is being interviewed on live TV because he successfully walked to his mailbox. In Canada, we call that October.
It would be very cocky for any American to think they have any clue how to deal with a Canadian winter. And I think we're kind of aware of this one, to be honest.
Ryan, what's it look like out there?
Yeah, it looks like snow.
Is this guy wearing short sleeves in the snow?
Number 10, the Canadian identity. We are not basically Americans. We're healthcare. If we were, our national animal would not be a beaver.
The Canadian identity. This is what I meant at the beginning, where it's like, if you're moving to another country, that's a big deal. It's also a big responsibility. And it's an obligation on your part that you respect the country you are going to. You do some effort to understand it. The language or the culture or whatever you got to do. The laws, the customs, that's a part of it. That's something you need to do. Just basic respect. And a lot of Americans definitely would struggle with that. And I think this Canadian identity, that it just sounds like something that's kind of hard to look up. Like the Canadian identity, whatever that means, that's something like you probably have to be Canadian, live in Canada to really understand.
It'd be something louder, like a bald eagle with a podcast. And finally, beer is sold not in cases, they're sold in 2-4s. And yes, it
I've heard this term before.
is stronger than your piss water. So when you shotgun 3 at an East Coast kitchen party because you used to crush Bud Lights in college, don't be surprised when you wake up under a canoe.
Canadian beer is stronger? Is that actually a thing? What is it? Is it 2-4? What is a 2-4? I've heard this one. Is it like a pack of 4 or 8 or 2 sets of 4 or maybe? That could be it.
So yes, Americans, you can move here.
All right. And with that, that's pretty cool, actually. There's a lot of very specific and very general, some obvious, some not, differences between Canadian and American culture. And that's to be expected, of course. Although there's a lot of Americans who we don't realize how different it can be. So this was a great video to kind of illustrate a lot of those. And especially if you're an American who's actually moving to Canada, this is the baseline you need to understand. And this was good because there was a lot of stuff here I did not understand. So this definitely applies to most Americans out there. So this was good. Anyway, if you enjoyed this, feel free to give this video a like or leave a comment with your thoughts on these 11 things Americans need to know before moving to Canada, and if you agree with this or if there's more things, or that'd be cool to hear about. And if you're interested in more videos like this, me reacting to Canadian things that I've never seen before or learned about, feel free to subscribe for more. And until then, thanks for watching and see you next time.